Hello, this is the Rock and Roll Riot. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is my very first YouTube video. So I'm going to introduce myself. I am Baz. I am 20 from Ontario, Canada. To start off the video, I would like to apologize for probably the most boring background you've ever seen. I recently started my third and final year of college and I haven't finished decorating my dorm room yet, so bear with me. If you can tell from the title of the video, today we're going to be ranking Mötley Crüe albums from my least favorite to my favorite. So today we're only going to be covering the 5 Mötley Crüe albums from the 80s, so you won't see anything post that in this video. I would like to say that even if I rank an album lower, it does not mean I don't like it. I love every album that I've put on the list, and if you would rank them differently, please let me know in the comments. If you agree with my choices, let me know in the comments, because I would love to hear your opinion and where you would have put them. One last thing before I start the video, I'm going to try and show the albums that I'm talking about. I won't be able to show them all because, like I said, I've moved into residence, so I only have about a fifth of my record collection with me, and none of my CDs or my cassettes, so just bear with me. I'll show the ones that I have with me, and without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so coming in at number 5, we have the debut album Too Fast for Love. With this one, I feel like there are definitely some great and iconic songs like Too Fast for Love or Take Me to the Top. However, I find that some of the songs on this album aren't quite as memorable as some of the stuff that they did later on. And another thing that I find with this album is some of the songs can get kind of repetitive, like Too Fast for Love or Take Me to the Top. The choruses can kind of get a little repetitive for me, so it's not one that I tend to pick up a lot when I want to play a full album through start to finish. It is a good album, but I would probably have to rank it number 5. Alright, so next up in number 4, we have Theater for Pain. Now this one might not come as a surprise to some of you, because I find a lot of people I know rank this album a little lower than others, and again, there are some iconic songs on there like Home Sweet Home and their cover of Smoking in the Boys' Room. This one again, to me, however, is the same as the last one, where some of the songs just are kind of forgettable, they don't stick with me, and it's a good album, but I'd have to rate this one in the number 4 spot for that reason. Alright, now moving on to number 3, now we're starting to get into the albums that I have with me. So number 3, I would put Dr. Feelgood. So this album has a lot of really catchy songs. I love it. However, I find that a lot of the songs on this album are a little bit more pedestrian, for lack of a better word. Like, listening to Don't Go Away Mad doesn't give me the same feel that it does listening to some other of Mötley Crüe's work. Of course, on this album, we have the iconic song Kickstart My Heart, as well as the title track, Dr. Feelgood. I also really like the ballad, Without You. I think it's really good. Again, a great album, just sometimes I feel like it doesn't sound as true to Mötley Crüe's sound as some of the other albums. Okay, so the next 2 albums are always really hard for me to rank. I find that I like them both for their own reasons, but today I had to pick an order for them, and I will explain after why I have trouble placing them into first or second, but for now, let's get on to number 2. So in the number 2 spot, I put Shout at the Devil. I love this album. I'm not the biggest fan of their cover of Helter Skelter, but I love like every other song on this album. With other albums, I've listed off some of like the more memorable songs and the songs that I really like off of them, but I'm not going to do that with this one because I feel like I'd be listing off almost every song anyways. An amazing album, start to finish, definitely probably my go-to if I'm just wanting to throw an album on and just listen to it from start to finish, because there are a lot of no-skip songs on this album for sure. Alright, if you haven't guessed yet, the album coming in at the number 1 spot is Girls, Girls, Girls. So, of course, I'll try to hold this without a glare. So, of course, the 2 biggest songs on this album would be the title track, Girls, 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 as well as Wild Side. This album actually has my two all-time favorite Mötley Crüe albums on it, which are Dancing on Glass and You're All I Need. And if you count Rodeo as well, then it has all three of my favorite Mötley Crüe songs. So that's why I decided to put it in the #1 spot, because, I mean, it just has all my favorites on it. So the reason that I always have trouble placing Shout at the Devil versus Girls, Girls, Girls is because I love almost every song off of Shout at the Devil. I feel like when I listen to that album, I don't tend to want to skip songs very often. It's a very listenable album to me. However, Girls, Girls, Girls has all of my favorite Mötley Crüe songs on it, so I feel like it's hard not to rank that one just a little bit higher because I was absolutely in love with the work that they were doing at that time. So that was my ranking of the Mötley Crüe albums from the 80s. Again, if you disagree with any of my placements, please let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if we included the albums after the 80s, where would you have put them? Anyways, if you wanted to follow me on my other socials, you can find me at Rock and Roll Riot on Instagram and TikTok, or if you want to see me post about the bands that I really like, you can follow me on Instagram at Rock and Roll Riot Bands. If you liked the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.